Let's see. What should I order? So many options. What we're going to be learning today first is about ton. Ton actually comes from something else, and it's related to another form that you're going to be learning about later in Korean, which appears everywhere. 더. This indicates one thing every single time. Past tense. So first, let's talk about the most basic, maybe one of the most common ways that you'll see this ton form used. And that is to make a descriptive verb into a past tense adjective. What if you wanted to say something like, he is nice? He is a nice person. This is just present tense. Nice, adjective. Person, noun. He is a nice person. What if you wanted to use a past tense adjective? A was nice person. Well, you can do it in Korean by using this ton form. So in order to do that, you simply take a descriptive verb in the past tense. Normally, if we wanted to say, I have a small house, or that is a small house. 작은, now we have adjective. small, 집. 작은 집, a small house. Well, how would we say a house that was small, not a house that is small? So not a small house, but a was small house. Maybe you say, I bought a house that was small and I expanded it. So past tense of 작다, to be small, 작았어요. What we want is when you get to this double letter here, the double S's, that means this is in the past tense. So we have 작았어요 normally, but now we're just done. 작았던. And that's literally all you have to do. You take a descriptive verb, you make it into the past tense, you get the stem of that, so you don't use the 요 form or anything else after that. You stop once you get to this part. And then you attach 던. Now you have what's a past tense adjective, and now you can simply use it the exact same way. So now instead of 작은 집, a house that is small, a small house, now you have 작았던 집, a house that was small, a was small house. Let's do this. The coffee that was here. First, let's just do that is here. 여기 있는 커피. 여기 있는 커피 제가 마셨어요. So I drank the coffee that is here. What if your friend walks in and you're like, hey, where's the coffee that was here? 여기 있었던 커피가 어딨어? 누가 마셨어? 여기 있었던 커피. Where did it go? Who drank it? If the context requires specifying that something was in the past tense as an adjective, it'll sound natural. If the context doesn't require it, it sounds really unnatural. There's another time when you're going to use this form. This form plus 것 같다. This is how you say, I think, or you think, anything that was in the past tense. So if you say, I think the house was small. If you say, I think the house is a little bit small, you can say 집이 좀, little bit, 작은, small, 것 같아요. 집이 좀 작은 것 같아요. I think the house is a little small. And if we wanted to say, I think the house was a little bit small, just like before, 작았던 것 같아요. 집이 좀 작았던 것 같아요. How was the house? 좀 작았던 것 같아요. 좀 작았던 것 같아요. I think it was a bit small. Notice how it's 같아요. But in English, we would say, I thought the house was small. Korean doesn't do that. 것 같아 does not go past tense or future tense. You're not going to say 것 같았어요 most of the time. Instead, you make whatever it is you think that's past tense before it. So do not say 같았어요. 작았던 것 같아요. 철수인 것 같아요. I think it is 철수. What if someone says 누가 내 커피를 마신 거야? Who drank my coffee? 철수인 것 같아요. I think it is 철수. What if you want to say, I think it was 철수 who drank your coffee. It was him. 이다 becomes 이었어요 or 였어요, depending whether it comes after a consonant or a vowel, right? So in this case, it comes after a vowel. So we've got 철수였. Now we have the stem of the past tense. 철수였던 것 같아요. 철수였던 것 같아. I think it was 철수. It actually has different uses, whether it's being used with a descriptive verb or an action verb. Let's go on to now the action verb. Action verb stem plus 던. Let's take a quick example. Just 하다. You get the action verb stem. 던. 하던. Let's do 살다, 먹다, 입다. 살던, 먹던, 입던, and you're done. This means had done. This form does not mean used to, literally, but you can use it that way because it means had done plus frequently. So it has to be more than once, continually. You wouldn't say I had bought something with this form. Last year, I had bought a computer there. You cannot say that with this form because buying a computer is neither something that you did frequently or continually. The key word here is something that's going on, whether that's frequently, many times, or just continually. This form is specifically for something that's happening continually or frequently over a period of time. In that sense, it can have the meaning of used to. Well, let me give you an example. 저는, I, 철수가, so 철수's doing something. What's 철수 doing? 철수가 먹던, making this now an adjective, had eaten. So now we have the pizza that 철수 had eaten. Also keep in mind, what this means is not just had eaten once, but was eating. So you can also think of this as meaning was eating or even used to. Now, it would sound unnatural to say the pizza that 철수 used to eat, but you can kind of see how it could have that meaning of used to in some situations. But here, no. Here was eating, had eaten. 저는 철수가 먹던 피자를 버렸어요. I threw away the pizza that 철수 had eaten. 철수 was eating. 제가 원하는 것이, so the thing that I want, 그거예요, is that. 제가 원하는, so what it is that I want. This is present tense. But what if you want to say the thing that I wanted? That is the thing that I wanted. 던. So we have 하다 becomes 하던. That's all you have to do to change it. So the thing I had wanted is this. The thing that I wanted before. I was continually wanting it, frequently wanting it. That's what it means literally in Korean. So 제가 원하던 것이 그거예요. So what I wanted is that. That's what I wanted. This is the same thing as before, but now we're doing past tense. Before we had action verb stem and 던. So, 하다, to do, becomes 하던. You can also use this with past tense action verb stem. So 하다 normally would become 했어요, right? Or 했다 or something like that. So now you're done. 던. 했, and you're done. This also can mean had done, or in that sense, used to, depending what you're using it for. Let me give you an example. 제가 어렸을 때, when I was young, 살던 집, the house I used to live at, the house I had lived at, right? This is just regular present tense. Frequently, continually, I had lived in it when I was young. So 살던 집. So this form also means past tense. So we can do this. 살았던 집. There's a slight different meaning to the two forms. Okay, I'm going to draw you a little diagram. Past, present, and future. So the regular 던 form means something happened in the past, but it also might mean that something happens currently. If you say 제가 살던 집, it's possible that you're still living in that house. If you were to say 제가 원하던 것이, it has the possibility that it still goes on. And by context, they would know if you do or you do not. However, if you use past tense 던, it can never mean that you're still doing it or that it still goes on. So if you were to say 입었던 셔츠, the shirt that I used to wear, it's the shirt I had worn before and I never wore again. 살았던 집, the house I used to live in and I do not live in it anymore. 원했던 것, I used to want that and I do not want it anymore. So that's a very small but important difference between these two forms. If, however, it does not matter if it's something that's currently happening, just use either. So we have 철수가 다니던 대학교가 어디지? And 철수가 다녔던 대학교가 어디지? Just note that if you said 철수가 다니던 학교가 어디지? It could also mean 철수 still goes there. 철수가 다녔던 학교가 대학교가 어디지? Where's the college that 철수 was going to but doesn't go to anymore? Where was the one he used to go to? 제가 어렸을 때부터, since I was young, 살았던 도시 or 살던 도시, the city that I lived in or the city that I used to live in, 살았던 도시는 LA예요. So the LA is the city that I lived in when I was younger. So if you currently live in LA, you could only say 살던, double past tense, right? So what double past tense looks like is you have your regular past tense that ends in here, and then instead of doing like 했어요, 갔어요. Instead of that, you stop there, just like we've been doing with 던, and then you attach 엇, and then you add whatever your ending is. So 었어요, or 했었어요, like that, or 갔었어요, 갔었습니다. That's what's called the double past tense. It literally is just sticking a second past tense ending onto this form. So what this means is used to, or had done, but it's not an adjective. Now, this does not have anything to do with whether you're still doing it or not. It's just a past tense form. You used to, you had done something. This form does actually not mean used to at all. There is nothing in this form that means you are doing it continually or frequently. But still, this form means used to. In English, Koreans don't go out of their way to use a special form when they say they used to do something. They simply use the double past tense to show that it's not just past, but it's really past, right? Not just that I did something, but I had done something. So this is the form Korean people use when they say I used to do anything. I used to live there. I used to eat that. I used to like that. I used to go to school. I used to study Korean, whatever. Although literally it has no meaning of used to. It does not mean you did something continually like the ton adjectives did. Let's do some examples. Yeah, that university, Korea University, 제가 거기 다녔어요. I went there. Past tense, the end. That just means I commuted there. Like, I attended there. I attended that school. The end. But you could also say something like 제가 거기 다녔었어요. I had gone there in the past. Or a better way to translate this is just I used to attend there. Korean people will always ask me, oh, Billy, how is your Korean so good? 제가 한국에서 살았었어요. I had lived in Korea, or more naturally, well, I used to live in Korea. So to emphasize that used to, not just something I have done, but something that was in the past, use the double past tense. Okay, the next one we're going to be learning is 곤 하다. You have an action verb stem and then you attach 곤 and then 하다, which you then conjugate. Most of the time 하다 will be in a past tense, but it doesn't have to be. This form also does not mean used to. This does not have anything to do with the past tense. 곤 is a shortening of 고, the verb connector, and then 는, the topic marker. The 고 with 하다 together gives the meaning of something that happens frequently. Just like we had 던, which was something that occurred frequently in the past, 곤 shows that something happens frequently, but it can be in any tense. When it becomes used to is when this is put in the past tense. So let's take a look at an example. 그 식당에서 일하곤 했어요. So literally, I frequently worked at that restaurant. So we can translate this as I used to work. 한국어를 공부하곤 했어요. I used to, so I frequently did study Korean. I frequently studied Korean, or I used to study Korean. Now, because this means something that's done frequently or often, you'll often see this used together with words that mean frequently or often, such as 가끔, sometimes, or 자주, often. This form doesn't have to be in the past tense. You might also see it in the present tense. And the double past tense that we learned before is still the much more common way to say used to. So if you did want to say I used to work there, you can just say 그 식당에서 일을, or 일, just by itself, 했었어요. That's it. If you want to emphasize that something happened frequently, use 곤 하다. Otherwise, don't. Just use the regular double past tense. 좋아하다, meaning to like. You're not going to say 좋아하곤 했어요. The reason being, you're not going to frequently like something. Like, I can't say, oh, I used to frequently like her. I used to frequently like that music album. So you cannot use this for things that you only do once. Let me show you an example. You could also say something like 저도, me too, 가끔, sometimes, 한국 음식, Korean food, 만들곤 해요. But now we have I frequently do make Korean food sometimes. This is optional. You don't have to add this sort of adverb for emphasis, but it often comes together with 곤 하다 form. 던데 and 다던데. They have the same meaning, they just work a little bit differently. 던데 is used after a present tense verb stem, and 다던데 is used after plain form. What you do is you take the plain form and you attach 던데, which gives you 다던데. Well, in some cases it could be 라던데. And then at the end you can attach 요 optionally, if you're ending the sentence, as with 던데, 요. What is this form? It's actually a combination of 던 plus 대. I'm not going to be covering the 대 form again. It's a full lesson. I have covered it previously, but basically it's just a connector that shows contrast between two parts of a sentence. It can mean and or but. How it works is 하다 would become 하던데 or 하던데요. When you use both of these forms, either of these forms, it means that you are expecting a reply from the person you are saying it to. So it's kind of like in English, ending a sentence with a question mark or with a rising intonation. So you're making a statement, but you're ending your statement with a rising intonation, as if it's a question. Now, this is something we do in LA a lot, in California. I think it's like a dialect that we do what's called upspeak, but you know how we end it with like upward intonation. Kind of like, well, I like that movie. It means, what do you think? But in Korean, you can do this kind of same thing. So you say, oh, I like spicy food. And it means I'm expecting a reply. Well, what do you think? What do you think? Or, but do you think differently? It's not a question, it's a statement, but you're asking for their opinion on something. Let's take a look at some examples of it. 철수가 매운 음식을 안 좋아하던데요? 철수 doesn't like spicy food. You're kind of like expecting them to reply. Like maybe they're going to say, well, who cares? Or maybe they're going to say, really? I didn't hear it. Or, oh, well, maybe we should eat something else or anything. However, anytime you see the 던, it is past tense. So this form is not just 철수 doesn't like spicy food, but 철수 didn't like spicy food. This has a similar meaning of ending your sentence with the 대 form with an upward intonation, just like 대 form can also have that if you remember from my lesson. But this is past tense. So 철수 did not like. 철수가 매운 음식을 안 좋아하던데요? 철수 didn't like spicy food. If this was not in the past, you can also just say 좋아하는데요? 철수가 매운 음식을 안 좋아하는데요? 철수 doesn't like spicy food. What do you think? We can also use this exact same form with 다던데요. So we have the plain form, which is 좋아한다던데요. So you just stick 던데요 onto the plain form. 철수가 매운 음식을 안 좋아한다던데요. If you are familiar with the plain form, it's used for quoting. Here it's a quote. 철수 said he does not like spicy food. And what do you think about it? 철수가 매운 음식을 안 좋아한다던데요? 철수 said he doesn't like spicy food? Kind of like that. So you get this feeling that you want them to reply, talking about something that happened in the past. It's always present tense. You're not going to say 좋아했던데요. No, 하던. The past comes from this. That's all for today's lesson. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.